Good morning and welcome to Cindy's Kitchen. We are ready to cook this morning. Are you? Starting on Tuesday, the whole month of November up to Thanksgiving, I wanted to give you some ideas, either for breakfast, appetizers, sides, or mains for Thanksgiving. So, that being said, what's cooking in Cindy's Kitchen today? Well, today we're going to be doing some Cornish Game Hens and some roasted potatoes that have a yummy, yummy flavor to them. So let's get started, shall we? All right, I'm gonna start with a mortar and pestle. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can make do, but this is a stone mortar and pestle. And so normally this is what you use to do spices and herbs and things like that. All right. So, to start with, we're going to start with 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. Yum! You know how I feel about smoked paprika. 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika in our mortar and pestle. And then we're going to use allspice, okay? We're going to use 1 teaspoon of allspice. I always chuckle. If it's all the spices, why do we need any more? No. Smells good though. Allspice. Then we're gonna use a teaspoon of thyme. Too much time on my hand. You remember that? Too much time? All right. A teaspoon of thyme, ground thyme. And then we're gonna need a teaspoon of nutmeg, ground nutmeg. I know, all kinds of weird things I'm putting in here, don't you think? But it's gonna have almost a Mediterranean taste to it. So, yum. All right, then we're gonna need a teaspoon of salt. And and maybe just a half a teaspoon of pepper, okay? Unless you like it really zingy, right? But a half a teaspoon of pepper. Now to this, we're gonna add a whole bunch of garlic. Now you know that anytime I make anything, I use roasted garlic. And we have showed you how to make roasted garlic on probably 4 shows, right? So this is what it looks like. I keep it in a little dish on the countertop. As long as your roasted garlic is totally covered in oil, it sits out there for forever and ever, okay? All right, so I'm gonna use a lot of garlic. So I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 cloves. I know you're saying, what? That's a lot of garlic. I know it is, but it's okay. It is. It's beautiful. And you know what I'm gonna do? I need to put a little olive oil in here, but I'm gonna put a tablespoon of this, instead of just regular olive oil, I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of this garlic olive oil. Yum, right? I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. If you don't have lemon juice, but you have lime juice, you can do that. Okay, lemon juice, there we go. Now it's all in there, all in my mortar and pestle. And now I'm gonna take and I'm gonna smoosh it all up. Okay, now I want you to look. So basically we've just smooshed this all together. Look at this paste. Is that a yummy paste? It looks good. Yum! All right, so you just wanna make sure that all your pieces of garlic are kind of smashy. There we go. All right. Okay, now let's get to the hen. Here's the little baby hen, okay? A lot of times these come in 2 packs. So, but if you're cooking for 1 or if you're cooking for 2, even if you're cooking for 2, 1 might be okay. Just depends on how much you guys eat, right? All right. La la la. There we go. All right. So here is our little friend. Here's our little friend. I am gonna pat it dry because if we do this, that means more of the seasoning will stick to it, okay? So I've patted Edith dry. All right, so here she is. La 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 la. All right, so if you're looking at the chicken, here are the legs. Obviously, you know where the legs are, and here are the wings, okay? You are gonna wanna put it with the legs facing you, okay? So that's the bottom. We want the bum facing you. Okay, sorry. All right, now, we're gonna take our scissors. Now, before I do this, I'm gonna tell you what it's called. It's called spatchcock. S-P-A-T-C-H-C-O-C-K. Spatchcock. Now, that being said, I'll tell you the history of spatchcock. The term spatchcock is rumored to be a 17th century shorthand for dispatching the cock, right? We're talking about a chicken here. Dispatching the cock, meaning to open a chicken carcass in order to cook it. The technique involves splitting the chicken by removing the backbone, which is about what we're gonna do, so that you can flatten it, resulting in a crispier skin and even quicker cooking. Now, that being said, if you look online, this irritates me to no end. Forever, the recipes all say spatchcocking a chicken or a spatchcocked chicken. Isn't that repeating yourself? Because it's dispatching the cock, right? Or preparing the chicken. So basically what you're saying is preparing the chicken. See? It's kind of like when people say ATM machine. ATM stands for automated teller machine. So basically you're saying automated teller machine. Oh, just drives me bazonkers. All right, anyway. So remember, legs and bottom facing you. And you're gonna have to have some kitchen scissors. Now, the backbone goes straight down the middle of the chicken. I'm gonna pull it this way just so you can see a little bit. Maybe I'll tilt down. Okay, all right, so there you can see. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift up his little booty. So you see the little like tail right there? Can you see that? I'm gonna pull you closer. You see the little tail part right there? All right, I'm going to cut on either side of that tail thing. To say that with a straight face, I know, right? Now, after you use these scissors, make sure you wash them really well with hot soap and water. Okay, so down the center I go, cut, and I'm going all the way to this part right here, which is actually the neck, right? Okay, I've cut there, and now I'm gonna cut on this side. Cut. Look at that. And there we go. Kind of yucky, right? Gross, nasty, blah. But we've cut Edith right down the center. He is a she. Well, there you go. All right, so as you can see, I've cut it straight down the middle. Now, if you want, you can, so you can see some of the little ribs right here that I didn't cut out. If you want, gender neutral, you know how I feel about that. You can take your hands or your scissors and go ahead and cut those. Just so you don't have so many bones that you're eating around. So that's perfectly fine if you want to do that. They're really easy to cut out, okay? La la la. All right, there we go. Don't forget to wipe down your phone too. I know, but I did the back. I didn't touch this. I didn't touch it. I know better. Okay, so here's our chicken. And now it is spatchcocked. See? All right, now we have a spatchcock. We've dispatched the cock. And we're gonna pull the legs out. Can you see that there? All right, now, here's the wings. Hello. All right, now here we go. Hey, Vicki. I thought you were at, don't you have the farmer's market on Saturdays? Alex Del Cid. Hello, where are you from, Alex? All right, now we're gonna take our rub. Remember the rub we made with roasted garlic and paprika and allspice and nutmeg and thyme and salt and pepper, olive oil and lemon juice. Look at that. All right, so we are gonna take and we're just gonna start rubbing all over our chicken. We're gonna pretend that this is a massage place and we're massaging our chicken. Now, the one thing you do wanna do is you want to take your finger or two and kind of pull apart the skin from the meat. And you have to do it each on one side. I mean, you have to do it on both sides. It doesn't go like all the way across, okay? So once you separate that out, so you've got a little pocket, then you get some of your little rub and you put it inside there on the meat. I know, right? It's kind of funky. All right, and then we're gonna go on this side on the meat. Wanted to keep the hen whole. You certainly could do that with this rub recipe. You would want to still get up in there between the skin. You would want to make sure that you rub it inside the cavity, okay? Look. All right, I'm gonna take one of these off. And then I'm going to use my clean hand. And look at this. I'm gonna be using a cast iron skillet. Now tell me if you own a cast iron skillet. Who has a cast iron skillet? Tell me yes. Say yes or say no if you own a cast iron skillet. All right. I have my cast iron skillet. I don't have to spray it because mine has already got some oil in there. I don't know how old mine is, right? But there you go. Oh, cool. Anyway, so I don't have to put oil. If you don't use yours very often, maybe it's been in the back of your pantry or whatever, go ahead and take it out and either give it here's what I would suggest. Give it a spray and then take a paper towel and wipe it so that you've got, it's like your pottery addiction. Oh my, how many do you have, Mindy? All right, so we're gonna let that like get screaming hot. So I have my heat on high. And what I'm gonna do is as soon as it's smoking hot, it doesn't take very long, right? Because cast iron skillets are really good at heat. I have preheated my oven to 4, is it 16? I think it's a 16 ounce can. That's fine, okay? Because I'm gonna use this for 2 different recipes. Definitely making Sunday spatchcock after church. It's easy, and it doesn't take a long time to cook. All right, so what I'm gonna do is the skillet is smoking hot. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it skin side off. Okay. Oh, I just made a big fat mess, didn't I? Okay, so now we're gonna make sure that browns. And you're gonna ask me exactly how much, how long do I put it on there? And my answer is gonna be a little weird because I don't know if you have a gas stove or an electric stove. I don't know how hot yours gets. Now don't forget, soap and water, wash those down really well. I don't know how hot it all gets. I have a gas stove top. And so what I'm doing is I would say probably 2 or 3 minutes on the skin side. Then I'm gonna take look at those, and I'm just gonna flip her over and let her get suntanned on the other side. Is that a Bluebell plate? Yes, it was a Bluebell plate. Yep, Bluebell with my gucky stuff all over it. Okay, now, so we're gonna give that 2 or 3 minutes, then we're gonna flip it, and then as soon as it's brown on both sides, we're gonna take, like I said, about 16 ounces, just one of those smaller cans of chicken stock or veggie stock, whatever you have, and we're gonna pour that in to the skillet, and then we're gonna stick it in the oven, uncovered in our cast iron skillet. Now that's the great thing about cast iron is you can use it on the top of the stove and then you can throw it in the oven. So that's what we're gonna do, all right? So we're letting that cook, then we're gonna flip, then we're gonna add the chicken stock, and then cooking, right? Because you're not trying to cook around a whole hen. So it's flat, it cooks more evenly, and remember, I've just browned it on both sides. So we've already started, we've got a good cooking process going. All right, that being said, I think it's been 2 or 3 minutes. What do you think? I'm gonna check, hold on. Let me check. Oh, I like it. All right, I'm flipping. I'm gonna bring this over just so you can see. Okay, can you see the brown? Can you see how I've got the brown? I've browned the top of it. Now I flipped it, and again, just another 2 or 3 minutes. We're just putting a nice, pretty color. Hey, Nell from North Carolina. All right, now that that's done, I mean, you know, we're gonna start the potatoes. But the reason I like that is, if it's just one of you or 2 of you, that's a great thing, right? Okay, here's what we need. Have you ever bought these potatoes? These little petite gourmet gold potatoes? Okay, hey Joan from Iowa. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Okay, I like these because they're little bitty. So, this is actually half of a bag, okay? Because for 2 people, I mean, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, like 18 potatoes that I'm gonna cut in half. That is plenty for 2 people, okay? All right, so I have a bowl, wash them down, all that kind of stuff. All right, here we go. I am going to just, where did my, oh, there we go. Saturday. Good morning, Vanessa. If you guys are brand new, welcome. Make sure you tell us hello. Okay, that one's icky. I'm not using that one. Anne in the UK, tell us, it is a perfect bite. Anne in the UK, tell us what you, do you guys, I know you wouldn't normally, right, celebrate Thanksgiving, or do you? Do you, Anne? I'm curious. Okay, I'm gonna go back and get our chicken. Ugh. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Look at that. Vanessa, we have been doing this show since March. We started when COVID started because my husband works he's a doctor in the ICU, and he had to move out to keep us safe. And so that's when we started Cindy's Kitchen. And some of our folks that are on here have been watching with us every show since then. Okay, look at that. Isn't that pretty? My bowl or the potatoes? Yes, both. All right, so there's my potatoes. If you don't have these little bitty ones, let's say that all you have is, well, hold on. Let's say all you have is like russet potatoes, like these. You could wash these down. We have for years, but now because husband's eyes, we go to the daughters or, yeah. I just didn't know for this holiday, right? Because, so the first thing we're gonna need is a teaspoon of salt, la la la, a teaspoon of pepper, just black pepper. If you don't like that much pepper, use half. I like a little zing in my peppers. Hey, Donna, good to see you. All right, we're gonna need smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. The flavors are gonna be very similar to our chicken. I wanted to use very similar flavors so that they kind of meld together instead of the 2 flavors fighting against each other. Okay, let's see, smoked paprika. All right. Then we're gonna need some more garlic. These are really garlicky. I know COVID has changed, I know. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do, because the other is dirty. So I just have like a little soy sauce bowl right here. I'm gonna put, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. I'm gonna put 8 cloves of garlic in there. Very finely. So not a problem if that's what you wanna do. Okay, see, there you go. I'm gonna push this into my potatoes because garlic is awesome. I know. I know you guys make fun of me, right? All right, now we're